everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast Instant Match Reaction. Get involved. Let us know how you feel after the game. We are always here straight after the game. We have guest on, Luke from School of Science, on with us today. Me and Paul, often the hosts, and we want to hear how you feel about this game. Bournemouth 1, Everton 0. We was away at Bournemouth, and we come back with nothing. We're going to get the thoughts on this game. Let's do this. I'm going to chuck it to you. First of all, Paul, what have you got for me after that? How'd you feel?
Numb, to be honest, because it's just a case of watching us for 90 minutes, stop the opposition from getting a shot on goal, which we didn't even do that, really. You know, Bournemouth still had 9 shots on target today out of 18. It's just they get into our half, right, we might win the ball back, but there's no part of me that thinks that we'll go forward and create a chance. And for the vast majority of that game, we didn't. We didn't have a shot on goal today at all. Out of 9 shots ourselves, it was toothless. It was pointless. It was lackluster. You name it. That's what we were. And you don't see where anything's going to change. You know, the players had the ball. When they won the ball back, they might have the ball in the midfield, but they look forward and there's no option. There's no option to do anything with it. You're playing against a half-decent side, then they'll just defend as well as we do, but eventually they'll get a chance which they take. And they should have scored more, really.
Yeah, Luke, just quick thoughts off the top of your head, and then we'll go through the game. What's your quick thoughts on that game? What comes to your head?
Yeah, quite frankly, it's been blatantly obvious for the past 6 weeks at the very least that what Sean Dyche is doing is just not working. It's not a tactic that can work in the Premier League. I mean, we've had, in the past 10 games, I think we've had 9 shots on target altogether. 9 shots in the last 10 games. And, I mean, he's quite literally running on the philosophy of monkeys and typewriters. He's expecting them to just keep peppering at that net and eventually it will go in. But we've got nothing from it. We're getting absolutely nothing from it. We need to be more creative. He's got us playing football that was out of fashion in the 1980s. I mean, it's literally the most basic type of football on this planet, and he's just not even doing it. Also, as a response to, what's his name? Arky Z, or whatever the hell he is. I have a season ticket for the games, and I go to the away games, mate. The only reason I didn't go to this one is it's Bournemouth, mate. I'm not going right across the country, so chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, though, that game was absolutely horrific. It was just, that was something I'd expect from not even a pub team. They were just completely out of it.
No, I'm with you as well. It could have, as Paul said at the start, it could have been more. It really could have been more. And we have big problems. And the problems seem to be getting bigger as you watch us every game. The confidence seems to be getting lower in the players, and we seem to be playing worse. And even the Sean Dyche basic stuff, we can't even do that. Even the long ball stuff, he's even getting that wrong. And nothing's working at all. And there was a moment where, at the start, I think the first person to do it was Garner Gay, lost the ball. They should have scored when Garner Gay lost the ball in central midfield. And they counter-attacked us, and luckily, Bournemouth didn't put it away. And then Mangala went and did exactly the same. Mangala turned around and lost the ball in the centre as well, and they should have scored from Mangala's loss of possession as well. And
I was going to say from that, though, it happened with Njai as well. So it's happened probably about 4 or 5 times during the game. It's because when they're looking forward for an option, there isn't one. There's 3 defenders standing around our 1 striker. You know, the lads who are playing wide aren't higher up the pitch. I mean, for the last 20 minutes, we had Ashley Young as our right midfielder behind Patterson. You know, Njai was coming inside off the left to try and create something. Mikalenko stays as a full back. He very rarely goes forward with the ball. I think he's starting to get a nosebleed when he tried to put a cross in with about 5 or 10 minutes to go. You know, there's nothing there. So when you are then turned back into the midfield, turn around, you either slip like Njai did, or you get surrounded by 2 or 3 players, and then we lose it, and they look shit. but they've got no options. There's no philosophy going forward. And like says there, there's no ambition to actually win the game. There's no ambition to score more goals than the other side. It's to concede fewer goals. That's all it is. If you draw 0-0, you don't lose. And that's that. I'm sure he's got that tattooed on his body somewhere.
He's basically playing the exact opposite of what Roberto Martinez used to do. Roberto Martinez's style was quite literally, we'll score more goals than you. So he's doing the exact opposite. He's saying, "Oh yeah, we'll score completely less. We'll make sure we score nothing, and you don't score anything. We're going to concede less than you, and it's not even going to work. It's never going to work." But a lot of people, even down here, are saying we need a new manager and a new striker in the January transfer window. I would say that's a bit of an understatement. We need a new manager. We need another striker. We need a right midfielder. We need a left back. I mean, in all honesty, I would say ditch this flat four formation and try and get something in a bit more of an attacking dynamic. Have some more three centre backs with a left centre back, right centre back, and someone who sits in the middle who's your captain, and have wing backs. Because Mykolenko, this game today, there was something so wrong. There was just something so wrong with the way he was playing. He was just, for some reason, he seemed to be coming inside instead of staying out on that left, and they could see that. Bournemouth could see that all day long, and they were loving it. They were trying to exploit that as much as possible. And I mean, I think someone actually said that was the reason we actually conceded, because Mykolenko had switched off. The ball came in, and he'd lost. The man wasn't there to stop. What's his name from scoring? I don't even know his name. The number 7.
No, well, you're right. And I personally, some people will say, "Oh, what can Dyche do? These players are shy." I do believe there was moves to be made today. I really do believe there was moves to be made. And I'll just give you an example now, right? And I don't know everything, but I've watched a lot of football, I've played a lot of football, and I'm just a fan with a bit of look, watch, and probably see what Sean Dyche isn't doing. And for me, personally, the moment that we got those injuries, the moment that he knew he had to take Mangala off and Lindstrom, probably injuries, which was bad for us, because I thought Lindstrom was looking okay. He looked like he was sharper this game. Mangala he wasn't doing much, but he is needed. And when that happened, personally, at halftime, I would have come out second half. Remember, this game is in our hands. It's still a draw. I would have come out second half, and I would have gone Branthwaite, Tarkowski, and O'Brien, 3 centre-backs. I would have gone Ashley Young left wing back, and I would have gone Patterson right wing back. I would have then brought on Beto with Calvert-Lewin up top. And that's what I would have done to get the extra winger. I would have done that. I would, like you just said, Mykolenko was not having a good game. Sean Dyche can see Mykolenko is struggling. It's only going to get worse. He's putting himself in a hole that is just getting deeper and deeper in. And it's not his day. And it hasn't been for a while. So you need taking out when Mykolenko is playing like that. We've seen him have good games, and we've seen him have bad. And he's having bad at the minute, Mykolenko is. So Sean Dyche should have thought, right, Mykolenko's not playing well. What I'm going to do, because Ashley Young looks decent on the right, he can handle himself. I'm going to put Ashley Young on the left in Mykolenko's position, and I'm going to let Patterson play right wing back. And then I'm going to play O'Brien with Tarkowski and Branthwaite. So we're solid. So we look like we don't concede. But then I've also made us more solid. But I'm going to add Beto and Calvert-Lewin to cause more concern for this Bournemouth team. And then play Njai in the number 10. It's simple. That's what I would have done. And it would have worked. I'm 110% that would have been a lot better than what Sean Dyche did. Because what Sean Dyche did, he put Armstrong on, who we did not see all game. He played in Decore's position, and we didn't see Decore all first half. It was just pointless. And I think when you've got that number 10 midfielder not doing anything defensively and not doing anything attacking, you might as well chuck on the other attacker that's big and try and get the ball up a bit more. It's just common sense. That's what you've got to do. Because we're seeing long balls go up to Armstrong, who's a midfielder, who can't even hold it up. He can't hold it up. And it was doing the same to Decore, and he can't hold it up. So at least put Beto there, who I don't think is incredible. At least put Beto there, who is going to hold the ball up. And Calvert-Lewin might get scraps off Beto just because we can't pass the ball. Because we was that shit this game, that we wasn't going to be able to pass the ball that well. So if you're not going to be able to pass the ball that well, don't half and half it. Put a striker up, 2 strikers up top, and play with wing backs. Ashley Young one side, Patterson the other side, 3 centre backs, get some crosses in, Beto and Calvert-Lewin in the box, and I feel that would have been a lot more effective than the crap that Sean Dyche did. He put Mikolenko out to hang. He was having an awful game. He left him on. Decore wasn't doing that well. He really wasn't doing that well. But if you want to drop him in, drop him in. That could have been done. Am I wrong? Am I wrong in this?
No,
I don't think you are wrong, but I think also as well, it doesn't matter who the striker is up there anyway, because if obviously we're not playing very well at passing the ball on the ground. There was one little spell where we had the ball for a while, but the passes that are going in the air, then they're miles above their head, or they're so like dropping so far in front of the in front of the striker who's got his back to goal, like 50 yards that way. He can't do much with it anyway. None of these balls are going over the defender for anyone to run onto. You know, they're not good passes in the first place. So if you are, I agree with you. Whatever helps us get further up the pitch to actually do these passes. If they're in the air, they're in the air. But at least get them in front of those strikers so they're facing the goal. They're not 50 yards from the goal with their back to it. Because what are you expecting them to do? Bring the ball down and then just whiz past everyone. It's just unrealistic. It's just unrealistic.
That's how the football's long dead. I mean, nowadays defenders are a lot smarter than the ones in the past. If you start doing long punts, all the defender has to do is just hang on your shoulder, and the second you get that ball, they put their foot across you. You're never going to get past them. Lukaku used to do it, and he used to be brilliant at it. And even now, he's struggling to score because of it. The thing is, I agree completely with what you said, Dan. I mean, all you have to do, Pickford in goal, O'Brien, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, O'Brien. You're going to have Ashley Young on the left, Patterson on the right, Mangala and Idrissa Gana Gay, with Ndai straight right behind the strikers with Beto and Calvert-Lewin. In that sort of situation, you've got a very attack-minded team that can pivot straight into defence almost immediately. So when we lose possession, instead of us having to rally back and get ourselves back into position, you've got either Idrissa Gay or Oriol Mangala there who can then pivot. They'd sit into the middle of the park and they would just pivot into the defence. And it goes from being a back three to an almost immediate back four there. And then if you've got pacey wing backs, it becomes a back six immediately. So you've got a dynamic there that can move. All you need from that is in that middle of the park, like your number 6 and your number 8 need to be pacey and they need to have the endurance. And I do agree with what someone's just put there. Ndai is a dribbler, but he's not a creative passer. I would agree for the most part, but I would say he has got a bit of creativity. He just doesn't have the opportunity where he's playing at the moment. With him being stuck to that left wing, he hasn't got the ability to go in and actually express himself in a creative manner. From that sort of set, most players know where he's going to go because he can't go to the left anymore because he's got the sideline there. He has to go right. So for him now, he has to find a new way of playing.
I'm with you on that. He's got to be in the middle where he can go left and right. When he's left wing, sometimes he's always got to cut in and move into the position.
But I
want Njai running at centre backs.
He also needs other players doing things that create spaces for him to move into. So if he is coming in off the left, the defenders need to think that he's got more than one option because his only option at the moment is to run at them. And so he ends up either trying to come back to the left-hand side, and you'd think maybe a left-back might be an option further ahead of him so he can then get a cross in, or he's going to run across the area and either have a shot, which he can't because he's getting blocked off by so many defenders, or he's able to play it to the right-hand side, but we're never high enough up the pitch or inquisitive enough to create those sort of opportunities. So it's almost like that's why he ends up with 3 or 4 opposition players around him because he just doesn't have any other options left.
Do remember though, there's a comment here, and we'll try and chuck all your comments on as we go. 3 people speaking, so we've got loads to fit in as well as your comments. But do remember, he says the Blue says Patterson looked like he was telling. Patterson's got to go through the motions. Patterson's been pushed out of this Everton team, And his confidence wasn't high. You could see that when he come on. He lost the ball, but he went back and got it. And he put a cracking tackle in to regain possession and just slid in and timed the tackle perfect. Patterson's been left at. Sean Dyche has always had him like second, third choice. And I honestly feel Sean Dyche has killed the player in Patterson. And you could see it in his face. He wasn't confident. And he's got to grow into the games. You build players' confidence. And Patterson isn't going to come in and just smash it. I think he's going to need trust and confidence. But when he was going down, when he was attacking, he looked like he wanted to push forward Patterson. He looked like he wanted to bomb it forward. And I, all day long, would have preferred Patterson wing back than watch Mikalenko struggle left back. I really would have liked to have seen it. But I was going to ask you now, and keep your comments flooding in, let us know how you think on the game. Is this, and let us know in the comments, is this worse than it's been? Because we've had the Crystal Palace relegation battle, we've had the Bournemouth relegation battle, and obviously we had the deduction season last season. Is this worse than that, this situation? Because today we've come up against Nottingham Forest and they battered us and we didn't look like one. We've come up against Bournemouth, and I know these teams are playing really well, but I still think we should be doing better against these teams. How much trouble are we in?
I mean, the way we're playing at the moment, how long before... well, right now we are in serious trouble and we need to switch it quick. But we're in the fortunate position that there are teams who are playing bad underneath us. So we're not immediately going to be going straight into the bottom three. But we are sliding.
Who's worse than us?
At the moment,
because these teams that are at the bottom are starting to play better, ain't they? I was thinking the same, but now I'm seeing Ipswich play better, and I'm thinking, I thought you was a lot worse than us when we beat you, but now I'm thinking next time we play you, you're going to be hard. Southampton have beat us every time they played us. Do you start to worry when you keep getting beat by these teams like that? You start to think, like, how much trouble are we in? Where are the wins going to come from?
Yeah, as we're saying, we are slowly going down. We're slowly slipping down now. Our quality, the thing is, we've stagnated in terms of quality as well. I don't think we're improving in any way, shape, or form. Man City was probably the absolute height of it over the course of the Christmas period. I mean, we can talk about Wolves, but that's a whole different thing. But I mean, Southampton, they're still doing absolutely terrible. Hang on. Leicester, they actually put up a decent fight today, apparently. And Ipswich as well. They're starting to slowly come into it. I mean, I think they got to win the last game. I mean, those three are meant to be the favourites going down. Wolves, likewise, underneath them. But Wolves have been getting wins where we haven't. I mean, our last 5 games now is 3 draws, 2 losses. And we can all just say, oh, yeah, but we got to draw it against Chelsea. We got to draw it against Arsenal. We got to draw it against City. Great, but we need to be getting wins. And I mean, we could draw to the top 6 or the big 6 all day long, but it's the other 4, it's the other 13, not including us, that we need to worry about. The likes of your Villa, your Bournemouth, your Fulhams, your Brightons, Brentfords. I could go on all day. These are the teams that you've got to be concerned about. If they're getting results against you, then you're going to start going down, down, down. You're going to end up losing it. If it isn't for Pickford right now, I think we would be rock bottom. We would be 20th, and we'd probably only have 3 points, and that'll be just 3 draws. It's quite literally very concerning. And then Pickford's the only one right now who's propping us up, and he's working his absolute socks off. You watch him on that pitch now, he's going absolutely mental when he's saving balls, and it's not mental as in get in. It's mental as in, what the actual F are you guys doing? Why are you not picking him up? Why is he free? What is going on? The team's lost it. I mean, that first half today, we looked lost. We actually looked like a team that was thinking, what are we doing? What are we actually doing? And the second half, we looked a little bit more coherent. We looked like we were actually, putting things a little bit more together. And then after about the 60th minute, our heads were gone again. I mean, the goal was pretty much the final nail in the coffin. After that, we were knocking at a door that wasn't even there. We were trying to open a door that was not there. We are literally pushing the pull door. We're just not coming at it in the right way. And I mean, Dyche, his style change, his changes of players, not only is he doing it at the wrong time, he's doing the wrong players. I mean, in that game there, Decore had an okay game, but it was his I think he cost us a couple of possession point areas a few times throughout that game. I think in the first half, he was a 5 out of 10. And then the second half, he went straight down to a 3. I think he should have been swapped out and Beto come on instead of, what was it? I think he brought wasn't it just a guy he brought off? He basically brought the number 6 and the number 8 off, replaced him with the youngster who's meant to be a number 8. And that poor lad, Armstrong, Jesus Christ, he was put into a toxic side there. He looked like he was trying to prop up the team with no backup. He was trying his best.
They have no style. Like
No.
Sean Dyche has no style of play, no tactics. And when we keep saying the players are losing possession, the reason we're losing possession is because when the players got the ball, say Garner Gay or Mangala, he's got no options. Like no options, no triangles, no pyramids, no options, no movement. And we don't even play, in my opinion. Sean Dyche doesn't get us to play to pass and move. I honestly do think he plays to get us to just get up there.
Yeah, the mentality. I mean, you can tell that when we pass the ball into midfield, particularly from a full-back position, the first thing that happens, whoever it is that it's a first-time pass back to Tarkowski or Branthwaite because they don't want to get caught in midfield. So there's a few times, particularly in the first half, where we were doing that. Mangala played about 3 or 4 first-time passes back after he received it. Garnegay did the same. There was one option, it was in the first half. Decore was given the ball, I think, and no one was within 20 yards of him. But his first thought was a first-time pass. There was no sort of turn or anything else. It was literally, I must not give the ball away, so let's keep it at the back. It wasn't let's turn around and see what options we have. So it's completely negative. The mindset is completely negative.
They must be trained to do this, though.
Yeah. Don't give the ball away. Don't lose. Because if you don't lose, if you don't lose the ball, if you don't concede a goal, then everything will be fine. But it's not. It's not a will to win. It's a fear of failure, again, which we seem to have all the time. And it never changes. Because if I've not given anything away, if I've not made a mistake, then I'm okay. Whereas we need players and a managing mentality, which is going to be a case of what can I do to affect the game. That's how I get my good score. That's how I get my score out of 10. It's not. I didn't make any mistakes, so I'm an 8. It should be, what did I do to affect the game, so I'm an 8. Yeah. Have I created a chance? Have I done an assist? Have I scored a goal? Have I had a shot on target? Have I won the ball back at any time in possession and then started something? But you can't get an 8 or a 9 out of 10 if it's a case of I didn't give the ball away. I gave it back to my defenders every time, and that just seems to be the mentality.
Yeah. One of the frustrating things is I always remember this a few seasons back when we had. Do you ever remember Morgan Schneidlin? I absolutely hated I hated the guts of him. He was a very negative player, and this is exactly what he played like. He played with stats in mind. He just had the ball, and hello there, little one.
Needs a toilet. Partner just said, I need the toilet, so I'm on baby duty now, and she has got an Everton kit on, bless her. An Everton kit on. And we were shocked. You know what I mean? And everything, the cameras just off. You can't see that well if I change the cameras. But I'm old enough why the partner goes to the toilet. But
yeah, all I can say is, Baby Bluecast, what cursed face have we brought you into, little one?
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, sorry, Eiley. Doomed forever.
You know what, though? I was thinking of this speech in my head, right? And the problem is, you get your kids to support Everton. It doesn't matter how shite these players are, right? It doesn't matter how, when you watch that game, it doesn't matter how shit it is. It hurts, of course, and you want it to be better. But that doesn't represent Everton Football Club. So my kids are still going to support one of the best fan bases. You know what I mean? Like, being an Everton fan is separate to watching those shit games. So yeah, it's shite to watch what the players just did. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't change being part of this fan base. It's still the best fan base. It's still an amazing football club. Your football club is your fan base. and our fan base is incredible. And that's the thing. Generally, our fan base is incredible. If we got into a cup final, we would rock the stadium, honestly. And we've got. I wouldn't rather support any other football club. Your football club is your fan base, and the Everton fans are incredible. These owners now need to get these players and the manager to match the standard of our fans and let our fans be the best that we can be. And they are nowhere near, but it doesn't change. Like I say, the fans will be around forever. Players will come and go, but fans will be around forever. And this fan base will never get shit. Even if Everton are crap, we don't go away. We'll still turn back up. You've seen us in relegation battles. We don't go away. This fan base will only get bigger and stronger, because the thing is, the fan base is that good that people want to be part of it. People generally do want to be part of it. You can see once Everton touches you, you know it's an amazing thing. So the fan base will just grow and grow and grow, because us Evertonians are something special. Whether we're local or whether we're from far, we are something special. And we will be in that new stadium, by the way. This will get sorted out. And we do need to group together again. And I hate to say it, because we all thought this would be the last season of Goodison Park, and it'll be like last season, be comfortably mid-table. I'll let you know now it's going to be a rough season again. But if that's what it's going to be, then we've got to be ready for it as fans, because these players need livening up. I think the first thing that we need to do is change the manager, and it'll straight away get us fans a lot more positive. Then we can get behind the new manager, get behind the players, and have that fresh start of this last season. Because Sean Dyche, I'm telling you, he's draining us. He is draining us. He's given us nothing to get behind. Do you know where you see little glimpses and think, right, that was okay. We'll keep that next game and put the things that went wrong right. But Sean Dyche has given us nothing. What do you take from this game into next game? Nothing. There is nothing. And that's the scary part. We need change now. The freaking group need to change it. They really do. And the problem is, we always do it too late as well. I said before even Christmas, change Sean Dyche. We've got games coming up where a new manager probably could get something from him. And we always do it late, where we have to lose, and we get a new manager because we've been losing. How about we changed? We were proactive, got a new manager in early, and actually won these games. Because these games, I'm telling you, although Forest and Bournemouth are in incredible form, they was due to get beat, and we could have been the team that beat them. I am 100% in that. I respect the teams, but we could have beat them. Let's see if we can get the little Everton kick tomorrow. Do you agree with me? Was that a motivational speech?
Yeah, I do agree. It's bless her.
Yeah, Tyler, we are so sorry. But at least you'll grow up with lots of character and strength in the face of adversity.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we've all got.
She'll have an iron will.
An iron will. That's exactly what she'll have. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's one of them. I know a lot of people are criticising the players as well, but what we've got to take into account is they're playing the style that Dyche is telling them to play. These people are Premier League players. They're not bad Premier League players either. For you to have this, to be up at the top of the ladder, you have to have something special about you. Even if you are the most bang average Premier League player, you are still one of the best athletes on the planet. I'm meant to be one of the best athletes on the planet. So I think with the new manager coming in, they'll have to really shake up the entire style of play. I mean, I think from what I've been told, apparently how Dyche goes about the training sessions, it's quite literally half of it is purely focused on running about and endurance training. It's not what the players need right now. And then the other half is literally just match simulations where he does like little 5v5 games and 6v6 games, and then he has a look at what's going on. That's not training. They need to be working on in particular things. And I mean, he's even come out and said that he doesn't believe in this whole striking coaches, throwing coaches, corner coaches, free kick coaches. He doesn't believe in this apparently. Apparently he thinks because players have played in the past, they know what they're doing. Well, newsflash, mate. No, they don't. I mean, football changes all the time. It's an ever evolving sport. I mean, the football from 10 years ago versus the football now is a completely different thing. I mean, let's say, for example, you put Duncan Ferguson into this Everton squad today. He get red cards like that. His style of play was quite literally hack them down, get the ball and score. He was so if you were to try and do that now in this game, you would be red cards within 10, 15 minutes at most. So the football style today is so soft that even a slight tap gives you a free kick. So you need to adapt and find new avenues. And Arsenal just scored. We can't be playing the style we're playing right now because it's not going to work.
No. And I mean, the thing is, I've always wondered why teams don't have a playbook. You know, American footballers plays. I know it's different, so some of the analogy might not be the best. However, if you're on the training pitch every day, and your main supply of goals comes from set pieces, which obviously did for us in the first half of the season, but first couple of months of the season, but it's not so much lately, then you come up with different ideas and you think about where we can go and different set pieces and different corners and everything else, because Bournemouth have started doing that, and that's not even their main supply of goals. You know, I think they tried 3 different types of corners. When we had a corner, I think we had about 3 or 4. Right? They were all the same. They all fly to the far post for Tarkowski to header back, and then I don't know what happens after that. But surely there should be a range of different set pieces that you can try and provide. So you've got the opposition guessing. We're not scoring goals because the opposition know what we're going to do. You know what? I'll just go on to that. We tried a near post corner. We did. Yeah, that went well. So we should be working on stuff, shouldn't we? Do you know what I mean? You got opposition, know what you're going to do, then they're going to defend it quite easily.
Any half decent club knows to research the players. I mean, most Premier League teams, before they play that team, they will watch your previous game religiously. They'll have it playing. They'll probably watch it 3 to 4 times back to back to back. They will single out certain players and go, right, let's see what he does when this ball comes through here. Let's see what he does when this ball comes through here. They will watch a game over and over again so they can understand how each and every player has been playing in the previous game. I don't even think Dice does that. I think Dice literally goes, oh, yeah, I know how they play. Let's say if we had the Merseyside.
Julian said to Sean Dyche in the press conference, do you think that it would be good to have a striking coach or an attacking coach in? And then Sean Dyche was like, well, it's funny you say that. I was having a drink with Eric Cantona and I can't remember who his name was. And we was all having a drink and we said, you just smell it. You don't need to train. You just smell it. Strikers should just smell it. You can't train for it. You just smell it.
I mean, this is one that I...
But my point is, Luke, the thing is, right? I don't know how Sean Dyche does that. He needs a lot of water, bless him. But my point is, we should be doing game drills in training. And I know they will be doing game drills in training, but please tell me why these game drills are not relating to the games. I've watched other teams. I've seen when managers have come in. What they do is they set up the players that are going to attack against defence, and they put you through the situations in the game. So when we're looking like we don't know what to do in these possession situations, these players should be drilled of when they're in these situations, what players are going to make what movements, and straight away you do it without thinking about it because you've done it that many times in training. You can read each other, you know each other. Pienaar knew frigging Baines inside out. Players should read each other. Our players do not connect whatsoever, and they're not drilled for any sort of movement. Everything's look, nothing's planned, and the training is shocking. And when Sean Dyche says, "Oh, you smell it," when they talk about getting attacking coaching in, they're not saying to Sean Dyche in the press, strikers get confidence. They're saying to him, your attacking football is shite and you're not looking like you're going to score when you're in possession because the team isn't looking like they know what to do in possession. So you need attacking coaches to come in and direct these players on how, when they've got the ball, to be effective with the ball and put the ball into better dangerous positions and make better dangerous movements in the final third. That's the sort of attacking coach you need in. They're not saying, oh, do you need someone in to help these players with confidence? They're saying, get someone in to direct these players to know how to attack, because they are clueless. Paul said it. Luke said it. When we've got the ball, we ain't got a clue what to do with it. We really haven't. Sideways, backwards, and it's shocking.
Mentioning what Blues is saying there, yeah, I'm sure they have been practicing set pieces, but I'm wondering how different those set pieces have been. Because there's no improvement.
It can't just be set pieces. We need more games than set pieces.
Exactly. And if
it's got to be more.
Where are these set pieces being practiced from? Are all the dead balls sort of 20 yards further away from the edge of the box? Are they corners, things like that? I'm sure there's differences, but is it just a case of, right, well, if we play it back to the back post from wherever it is, Tarkowski or Branthwaite will win it, and then they'll head it back into the mix. And then what? Because
how do we even get set pieces? Like, we can't. We don't attack enough to get loads of set pieces, right? We don't attack enough to get loads of corners. So we're not going to get a lot of corners. We're always low on corners. The other team have about 10. We have about 4. So we don't get many corners. So I wouldn't just focus on corners. We need other ways of finding goals. And it's got to be through the middle of the park. I'm sorry, but Gay and Mangala, whether you rate them or not, they need to link up, and we've got to be passing the ball. Decore is oblivious. Decore was shocking today. And Decore has been shocking for a couple of games, and so is Mikolenko. And if they are, you've got to find other ways. And this is the reason that I know we have got a really thin squad, and I understand that. Garner's out and Timmy Boone's out. Other teams have got players injured. You've got to deal with it. And my personal opinion, I've said it already on the show, I hate repeating myself, but I will. My personal opinion is, if you are struggling for players, you've got to change your formation. And Daesh often doesn't do that. I would have gone 3 centre-backs, as I've already said, 3 centre-backs, wing-backs, Patterson, Ashley Young, and I would have moved Njai into the number 10. Into the number 10. And I feel that would have been a lot more effective. I really do.
Just got a super chat there, man.
Is at breaking point. For the fans, don't have the fight anymore. The club is dead. Relegation battle. I'm bored of relegation, but I really didn't think it was good. I'll ask you a question now and let me know in the comments. Adam, cheers for the thank you to the channel, mate. We really do appreciate the support to the channel. I'll ask you a question. Put it on you first, Paul. Did you think we'd be okay this season?
I thought we'd be scoring more goals than we are.
Did you think we'd be in a relegation battle?
No.
No. Luke, did you think we'd be in a relegation battle?
I think all of our conversations early doors were, because of the points deduction, we ended up in a false position last season, but we're there now. We're there now with no points deduction, so there's no excuses. Cheers, Adam.
Cheers, man.
Good man.
Yeah, from my point, so before the season started, even before the pre-season friendlies, I said to friends and family, I said, what I think this season's going to be is we're probably going to be in mid-table, a little bit better off than what we were last season, because we should be building on that. We should add a little bit more to it and hopefully get ourselves between 12th and maybe 10th. That's what I was hoping for.
I'm the same as you, Luke. I generally thought, like, on last season we stayed up comfortably even with the point deduction, and I thought this season, I know Onana left, but I thought Mangala was a good bring in. Timur Rabunin was a good bring in. I thought Lindstrom, Coach Wright. I feel Daesh has made it proper, tried to make him defensive and not use Lindstrom to make him his best. O'Brien, I really wanted a big, strong centre back that could compete with Tarkowski and Branthwaite. I believe another manager would have got O'Brien competing. Daesh doesn't like him for some reason, young players. And we've brought in enough players. Broya up top as well. We've brought in enough players for me to be okay this season. And if you do look back at every game, the Bournemouth game, 2-0 up, 88th minute, let it slip. 3 points gone there. Aston Villa, 2-0 up, let it slip. 3 points gone there. Leicester was 1-0 up. We let them come back a draw, and Leicester was so poor that game. 3 points there. We got beat by Southampton. We should have been a lot better there. 3 points there, 12 points. We wouldn't be in this situation if Dyche was better, in my opinion.
The thing about today as well is that it reminded me a little bit of when we had Frank, and the fact that we kept the ball at the back, but we couldn't get past that. We had a link between the defence and midfield, but we never had a link properly between the midfield and the attack, and certainly not on a consistent basis anyway. And then when you look at the whole 28% win rate thing now that Sean's got to, which was, the same as Frank when he got sacked. It's just there's too many comparisons between the two times, if you like.
And we've just played Bournemouth, Paul. Like, that's the comparison. We've just played, like, Lampard. When I think of when Lampard got sacked, it was after getting two spankings in a row against Bournemouth. That was when you knew he was going to get sacked. And I just feel that although we beat Bournemouth to stay up, Bournemouth are the sign that your manager, well, I hope they are anyway, a sign. And by the way, I don't wish on any manager to lose his job or get sacked, but they get paid a lot of money. And if you're not good enough, I care about my football club more than the manager. And I believe that Sean Dyche is not helping us. He really isn't. Like, he's not got the answers. And I hate sacking managers, because I know that sacking managers is a big reason that we've gone in the wrong direction over the years, having too many managers, then bringing in the wrong players, loads of different players of different types of managers, and it's been a big problem. But just because that has been a problem, that we've sacked a lot of managers, doesn't mean that we can't get rid of Sean Dyche and bring one good manager in and get behind him and him be here 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
I mean, I'm the same. I really don't. I feel really bad if we have to sack a manager. It has to be a last resort, and it's all about whether they can bounce back from obviously a time that's gone bad. And we have had spells under Sean where we've done well. It's normally been in a little block, hasn't it? And then it's been awful, and then we've had a little block of wins again, and then it's been awful for ages. It's about whether you feel as a club whether he can get to the next stage where we win 2 and draw 3. Do you know what I mean? And we have that clump of points come together again, because that's basically what happened. Is what happened last season as well. The last 6 or whatever it was, and now we'll be all right because we've got that sort of run going and we've got these players in and everything else. But at the moment, we're in a right shit state in terms of winning games, and he'll point to the draws. He'll point to the how many goals have we conceded in how many games, which is not as much as some other sides, and how many clean sheets have we had. Well, you surely can't sack a manager because they kept all these clean sheets, and we've not been losing as many games, but we've not been winning. And so where we've been drawing 3 against whoever it would be, Ipswich have won 1 at least, or Leicester have won 1, or Southampton have won 1. Do you know what I mean? And that's the equivalent. So we're holding on at a level score, hoping that we don't lose. But these teams are playing to win, and they're going to get 1 win out of the same number of games we would have points for draws.
I said that to the Bournemouth fan, and I put it out there. The Bournemouth fan, you would never have thought that Bournemouth would beat Man City, but they went for it and they did. You wouldn't have thought they would have beat Arsenal, and they went for it and they did. And the problem is, there probably is games that we've had where we could have won and we haven't gone for it enough. And because our first thought is when we go for the game to sit back and try and win, if they make mistakes. There's a lot of games that have passed that we could have won if we actually took it to the opposition. We've not risked anything to win games this season. Our first thought has been defend. Make sure we don't concede. Make sure we get a draw. That's our first thought. Not our first thought, let's go out and win.
No.
And just make sure we defend well as well. We're too defensive. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. I looked at this game and I honestly believe we was going to win this. And I thought we could crack on. And that's no disrespect to Bournemouth because they're in cracking form. Insane form. But I know that when I spoke to the Bournemouth fan, they had a lot of fatigue players, he said, and I could see that today. You know, that Bournemouth team wasn't up to scratch. They wasn't taking the chances. There wasn't that sharp. They were moving players about, and he said, "You're not playing the best Bournemouth today." And I don't think we did play the best Bournemouth today. And I think if we did have anything about us, we could have got at this team. It's getting frustrating because you start to think now, who are we going to beat? And Luke, you mentioned earlier on at night about the teams at the bottom, but when I hear Van Nistelrooy in the press say he's going to bring in loads of young Man United academy players and he's going to do everything he can to bring in players to get Leicester better, I expect Leicester to be a lot stronger after this window, and that's probably the only team that I think's weak. Southampton have beat us. Like I mentioned, I even do think that everyone is going to invest. I think January is going to be a window that's not normally busy, and it's going to be busy. This season is going to be very hard, and from what we've just seen today, it's scary. I don't think we're going to do that much in this window. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but by what we're hearing from Sean Dyche in the press at the minute, I don't know what we're doing in the transfer window. It kind of is going to be we've got what we've got in Tipple.
Yeah, well, it's all a case of how many loans can we have, because I think we've reached our limit. And then it's about players wanting to come to us, to be honest. I mean, I'm just going to sort of zoom in a little bit on a bit of that. But that obviously ain't great at all, is it?
Shocking. What a time to be an Everton fan. Eh? Like I say, I love Everton Football Club, but the football at the minute, it's draining. It's not that exciting, is it, to watch? We don't even look like winning. That's the problem. But I didn't know that we didn't have a shot on target today, Paul. We didn't have a shot on target. You just told me. We did not look like scoring against Forest. It was shocking against Forest. Really, really.
Well, the shots that we had, I think, from the shots that we actually had, the majority were from. I think both fullbacks had a shot. I think Njai had a shot. Decore had a shot wide over. But they were all scrappy ones as well. It wasn't like we worked a great opportunity. It's literally Decore's was because it dropped off a header. You know, Patterson sort of barged his way through, kept the ball, scrambled, and then had a shot over. Mikolenko panicked, had a shot over. You know, it wasn't as though
that's the problem, though, Paul. It's interesting what you're saying. This is on to what you're saying. Like that is the problem. Is that when you build something, say you get a coach that gets us playing a style. We haven't got a style. It's long ball. That's what it is at the minute. But say you've got a coach that gets you playing a style. You then play that passing style or whatever style it is week in, week out, knowing that you're going to eventually get goals from that style. Our style is long ball, which sometimes you get a lucky drop and you'll get goals like you've just said before. But you're relying on luck to win games. And you know luck doesn't come very often. You're going to get lucky probably 1 in 3, 1 in 4. And that's what we're relying on is a lot of long balls, knockdowns and luck. But we've got to become a team that where we don't rely on luck and we play a bit of good football. And the good football gets players in and we score from playing a bit of good football. And some will say, oh, we're not capable. I did see us make 28 all-lay passes against Newcastle. When Onana, I don't think he was even playing. But we did 28 all-lay passes against Newcastle. And that was good football. And Beto scored at the end. They can play better football. But it's just that I don't think these players are being instructed to play football. I think it's pass it here and there, but just get it forward as much as you can and try and be a nuisance in that way. I believe that the manager is behind the way we're playing. And obviously the players are massively responsible. But I believe the manager's style is what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, if you think back to goals that we've scored so far this season, and even last season, to be honest, a lot of them have been where it's deflected off someone and it's fallen to someone running into the area. You know, if you think of Decore's goals, or you think of when Garner Gay was scoring a couple, it's all that they sort of dropped down and we were in the vicinity so we could have a shot. I'm trying to think of goals where we've actually done 3 or 4 passes that have been accurate and then a shot on goal. You know what I mean? it feels rare. I mean, come back at me and tell me if there's any examples of that, but it feels rare that that's the case. If we're lucky, we might get one kind of slip through pass, or there might be a pass like Harrison did, where he's crossed it, he's sort of curled it into the space where McNeil was. But I'm struggling to think of goals where we've done 3 or 4 passes and created that opportunity and finished it.
Do you know, like,
look at that. I mean, look at that as well. I mean, just looking at that table of the goals, 15 goals scored is incredibly worrying. Incredibly worrying. I mean, if you think of the closest ones next,
scored more than a
the
whole
closest
team.
ones, there's only Southampton that we've scored more than, and we all think they're going to go down. Ipswich have scored 3 more of us. Most of us think Ipswich are going to go down. Leicester have scored more than Palace and United.
I mean, look at Wolves.
Do you know,
Wolves have scored
do you know,
more than us.
do you know, like,
Wolves have scored double what we've scored. I know we've got a better defence,
good
but it doesn't feel like it at the moment either.
Do you know, like, in Police Academy, do you know that guy in Police Academy that when he comes in the room, he knocks everything over and everyone has to move away because he knocks, like, he'll spill a hot tea over someone. The guy in Police Academy that just makes loads of hazards. And then you've got, like, you know, Mr. Bean, where his car leaves his car running and it probably rolls down the hill and Mr. Bean does dopey stuff. That was Everton today. That was Everton today because Broja kicked the floor when he went to have a shot. And he must have took a chunk out of the floor. Broja literally just smashed the floor. And then after that, Calvert-Lewin puts a cracking block in against our player to have a shot. What is he doing?
No, Lindstrom, sorry. Bloody Lindstrom.
Yeah, Lindstrom goes to drill a shot. And the shot looks like it's going to be a good shot from Lindstrom. He gets himself into a good position. But as Lindstrom goes to do the shot, Calvert-Lewin doesn't back off to let him have the shot. He runs to try and get on the ball and puts a tackle in on Lindstrom. And it was like that today. It was just pure Police Academy, Mr. Bean football, I'm telling you. And that'll be the new icon, I'm telling you, because it was just Broja kicked the floor when he had a shot, got injured, had to come off. Mangala, I'm convinced Mangala was injured. That's why he had to come off. Lindstrom, he was injured. I think that's why he had to come off. He kicked the floor. The Calvert-Lewin blocked him. It was a travesty. It was proper bad today. It was just not a good day at Bournemouth. It really wasn't. And it was emotional to watch. And it was just so wrong. And it was getting worse and worse and worse. It doesn't surprise me that they beat us. And Dyche did nothing to do anything about it. You spoke about Mikalenko. We were struggling on Mikalenko's side, and there was a lot of times they put balls, and there was a player jumped up, beat Mikalenko to the head, Pickford saved it. And there was we were struggling like with Mikalenko. So, like I say, 3 centre backs, wing backs would have stopped them being effective on the wings and gave us that extra player sometimes when they put the crosses in. The last thing that I want to say. And I didn't give this a shout out at the start, but there's still been loads on and still loads of people on. I have never in my life seen Jordan Pickford so good ever. And he is on fire, right? On stuff that Jordan Pickford is not normally that as good at as what he is. Like today, I seen Bournemouth whip some crosses in. And Jordan Pickford was completely blocked off. Really dangerous crosses from Bournemouth. Pickford's come out and punched it. And he normally struggles on that stuff, but he was getting on everything. There was a moment where Jordan Pickford made a save, and then he made a tackle with his feet on the player. So he was doing the defensive work after he made the save. So he made the save with his hands and then running to make the tackle with his foot. At the start of the game, he stopped a shot, one-on-one shot.
Yeah, great to have that one.
He was cracking, and he was faultless. And this is like the best I've ever seen Jordan Pickford, because even though they scored, he couldn't stop the goal, by the way. No. He's done nothing wrong for a long time. And I feel sorry for Jordan Pickford because he's screaming and shouting at these because he's doing his best to have the best game he can. And these players in front of him, it must be frustrating for Jordan Pickford to be playing the football of his life, being insane in goals, the best keeper around. but yet the players in front of him be so poor, and he's probably thinking, if I can step it up and I can do this, and I'm a goalkeeper that's having a lot to do because of you, then why can't you lot step it up in front of me? And fair play to Jordan Pickford. There's a comment there that, I mean, the Bournemouth guy that we had on, he said there, Pickford was your man of the match, personally. He really was. He was insane. And even the Bournemouth attacking players was tapping him on the back saying, you're doing my bloody heading. We can't get it past you. And with what Jordan Pickford did, he deserved a clean sheet today. But the fact is, our players was that shy that they just eventually let Bournemouth score a goal where Pickford could do nothing about it. But what I feel sorry for Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, Dan, I've got Sean Dyche's little post-match thing if you want to listen to it.
It's are we allowed it on the channel? It's not copyright, is it? Chuck it on if you want.
I wouldn't expect it to be copyright.
You got it.
Screen, second one, share. There you go. I think someone needs to grant it.
People normally.
Let's see what. Let me know if this actually comes through.
Need the sound on it.
No sound.
No.
1 sec. Can it actually share screen? Entire window. Share the audio. There we go. That should come through now.
This is going to make everybody so angry listening to this scotch at the end. I'm telling you. What's he going to say? So we're going to finish with Sean Dyche's amazing voice, as if mine wasn't good enough.
Sean, is there more than a touch of frustration about the circumstances that led to the goal?
Yeah, there is. Unfortunately, when things are going against you, which have done the last couple of games, you don't get decisions. There's no contact. Lab rolls around the floor. There's no reason for them to have a start point. But I must be said, we didn't defend well after that. It's a straight ball, which they tend to do. Longer balls, we didn't deal with it. That puts a decent cross in, and then Jared ducks out, going in the goal, and he'll only know why he did that. But at the end of the day, we can't just cry in about the referee. There's more to the game. That first half we were miles off, made some change. I thought second half we were stronger. Came back into the game, created a chance of our own. People trying to pass in the box rather than shooting, and all the things that we know have been a frustration for a long time.
Frustration is the word at the moment, isn't it? Seemingly everything that can go wrong is going wrong.
Well, we've had periods like this before, and they're very challenging, for one reason or another, and it's coming through them. It's holding you out. It's been strong enough to come through them. I spoke to the group about it before the game, and it didn't respond first half. Second half, a bit more of a reaction and a bit of a better general performance, but these, it's a soft goal. It's a very soft goal. Like I say, it starts with a really poor decision. And I spoke to him straight afterwards. I spoke to the form and said, that's the point. They say, yeah, but is it going to matter? And I said, well, it does, yeah, because that's what it leads to. But at the end of the day, like I said, we had 3 opportunities to deal with it. The cross, first header, the cross, and then to block it on the line, and we don't do that.
Harrison Armstrong did well, didn't he?
Yeah, pleased for him. We've liked what he's been doing. He played in the cup, and we just thought it was right. A bit of energy in there first half, and I thought he really applied himself well. And I thought Dom did when he came on as well. I thought he really applied himself well.
We've just got to say to the players now, look, the second half was a bit more like it.
I think there's more to it than that. There's got to be a bit more depth to it, because I've never made excuses since I've been here. And we've had so many draws, and the run's still not really on paper a bad run if you had wins in it, but we haven't had wins in it.
It's off, Dyche.
And the belief and desire to find that moment, that's the bit that's been missing. And it sounds easy, but it's not easy. The hardest thing is scoring goals. But you've still got to have that belief in scoring it. And when we get in there, someone's going for a pass or not the right finish. I must say, Duke has one. Our fans can't see it, but it's like, 6 inches wide, and he's ripped it.
Garbage.
6 ago against Leeds, of course. But, they're the things, they're the margins that you need to go in your favour, and at the minute they're not.
Just finally, when things aren't going your way, you get a striker who kicks the floor and has to go off injured.
Yeah, very frustrating for him. We've lost a player early, we lose a substitute early, but like I say, I must say, Dom applied himself really well when he came on.
Wow.
Oh my days. That has made me twice as angry as what I was before I seen any of that.
My apologies.
That has made me That has made me fuming.
Fucking hell.
You know what? He doesn't even see anything as a problem. He generally just said then that it's the referee's fault, the official. How does he not see how bad? Or Decore's missing everything would have been okay. He played for a draw, you know. You could tell at the end there, if Decore would have scored that, he said it was inches away, it would have been okay. No, he needs to go, you know. He is a big problem. I'm telling you, that really has boiled me up because he's not even seen any of it as problems. And even the goal is like, you could see the goal coming miles before. That goal wasn't lucky. No. And he's saying it's a play. Oh my days. What's your thoughts on that?
Brooks had a chance. Brooks had a chance about 5 minutes after that as well. Almost identical.
Chances all game. All game they had chances. They battered us. They battered us. And Sean Dyche has spoken like it was okay.
It's just,
Even the
if your manager
how's that the official's fault? It's not. It's not the official fault. That is quite literally down to the players. They switched off when they had the free kick. They should have been turned and ready to stop that happening. You cannot stop play because of a dodgy foul. You can't just stand there and just go, oh, that shouldn't have been a foul. No, we're not going to play until it's given us a foul. We don't stop playing.
He's making excuses. He's making excuses. He's trying to. And the problem is, if he's saying the way Sean Dyche has just spoken in the press, he doesn't think that game was that bad and it's that far away. And if he thinks that's okay, he's not going to change much. And if he keeps thinking it's okay, we're going to keep getting that and getting the same. And that is the worrying part. I don't think he thought that game was that bad. I think it went how he thought he wanted it to go. I think he wanted a 0-0 and try and nick it. And in his head, he thinks that we should have defended that goal. It was the official's fault. And if we did, Decore probably would have took the chance later on and everything was okay. That is scary for me that Sean Dyche doesn't see that game as really bad. Because like we said, Mangala lost possession. They should have scored. That should have been one. Garner Gay lost possession. They should have scored. That should have been another. And Jai lost possession. They should have scored. That was Pickford made a cracking save at the start. They should have scored. A header they missed. They should have scored. Their striker had his hand on his head 3 times where their striker should have scored. They could have been 6-7-0 up, but yet Sean Dyche thinks this game was okay. Mad.
None of it is okay. None of it is okay. And FA Cup Thursday. I mean,
Peterborough. If I was a Peterborough fan, I'd be thinking, "Oh, I'll get in. We got Everton here. These guys are on a right downward spiral. We could actually beat them here." That's probably what's going through a lot of Peterborough fans' heads right now. They actually think they could probably take us.
Do you think the manager will get sacked now?
Well, someone's put a thing there saying Dyche has just been sacked. He hasn't. I haven't seen any news articles yet.
no.
I haven't even had a notification off Everton saying. Normally, they're quite quick. When someone departs the club, normally they go bam. They normally put it straight out. They can't. Yeah, but Dyche.
What, an hour after the game ends? It's probably a bit quick.
Wasn't it Moyes after he lost to us or something like that? He literally got him. He was in the dressing room. They got told to bugger off or something.
Right. Okay.
I think it was one of them.
Right.
But I would love for Dyche to turn around and actually say that was my bad. I don't think I've set up there for us to win. I take responsibility for that. These players are great players. I've set it out wrong, and I'm going to improve on that. I would love for him to say that. I want him to say that. Because a good manager will admit when he's wrong. And a lot of managers have done that. If they have played a bad game and the game has just went away, they will own. If they haven't been able to fix it by the end of that final whistle, then they normally hold hands and go, "That was my bad. I set that up wrong." But he's never going to say that. He thinks he's the bloody reincarnation of bloody Pep, Shankly, Howard Kendall, Sir Alex Ferguson, all them combined into one. He thinks he's all them in one. He's not. He's bloody shite. And he's so shite, he's knocked Dan off air.
That takes a lot, to be honest. It takes a lot, that. I mean, Emma's right. It's good that
Oh,
Peterborough
favourites
probably
is-
favourites because we might actually go to try and score then, or at least to try and do something. Might G us up.
I knew
dogs again.
I didn't for me because I love Everton so much. I didn't tell myself it was a big problem, but the moment we did a live watch, no disrespect Coventry against Coventry, and they completely outpressed as Coventry did. And they passed the ball so much better Coventry did, and they was pinging it about, and we didn't even know how to pass them. They was passing loads against us. And I thought, if Coventry could do that in the pre-season game, why can't we? And when you think about it now, Sean Dyche isn't going to get these players to play football. He isn't going to get these players to play football. This is what you're going to get with Sean Dyche. And in that press conference, he doesn't see that as a problem. He thinks this is the way to stop up long ball, and you're going to keep seeing it under Sean Dyche. Do you in the comments now think that with this style that we will stay up? Paul,
that.
and
Do you
think we'll stay up with this?
Just hearing him say
Sympathise.
this. I'm just hearing him say this again.
You know, some of the excuses since I've been here. We've got so many draws, and the run's still not really on paper. That run, if you had wins in it, but we have nothing.
If you had wins in the run, it wouldn't be a bad run. Well, yeah, no kidding.
Get some fucking wins.
Anybody could say that. Oh dear! If we scored hat-trick if Calvert-Lewin scored hat-trick every game, he'd be worth 100 million. Just because you said if he did doesn't mean he does.
Man, had wheels should be a bicycle.
Wins in it.
I thought, do you know what? I this could be me just angry because we lost, but I thought when Calvert-Lewin come on, I thought he was looking after himself for that January move. You know, didn't look like he got stuck in. Didn't he come on and his partner's been giving it large, saying he's not happy. And I think he's off in January, Calvert. Well, I hope he's off in January, otherwise he's off for nothing. But when Calvert-Lewin come on, I don't.
He wasn't interested.
I think he's gone. I would have rather seen Beto come on. At least Beto will give everything and don't care about getting injured. I think Calvert-Lewin was looking after himself when he come on.
I want Chimiti back. I miss him so much. He was actually a more hungry striker.
Who?
Chimiti. He was actually a hungry striker. He wanted to score. I remember his debut game. He was quite literally, he was up and down that top line like an absolute lunatic, wanting the ball. And you saw it when even in the crowds. I was right near the back of the lower Gladys. And all you've seen is him running across, getting left, getting right. And when the ball didn't come to him, he was furious. He was like, give it here.
We respect teams too much, in my opinion. We try and fit when we come up against a team. We try and set ourselves for coping with that team instead of actually setting ourselves up to be a danger to the other team. And I think if Dyche had the bollocks to put two strikers on, I honestly feel that Bournemouth team would have ended up sitting back a lot more than they did. Sometimes the best form of defence is attack. And I honestly do believe if you would have chucked Beto and say Shamiti up top, or Beto and Brozier, or Beto and Calvert-Lewin, then you could have got something. It would have been a lot more interesting than what it was. You could have either put two strikers on early, or you could have just left it, and what happened was always going to happen. It's frustrating. So frustrating. Right, we've had plenty on. It says there's been over X, and overall what we go live has been like 946 clicked on. If you can hit that like and subscribe, we really do appreciate it. It was Paul's birthday. Was it yesterday or the day before, Paul?
It was my birthday on Thursday.
It was
Happy belated birthday, mate.
Birthday on Thursday, and that's the reason he wasn't on the pre-match, because he was partying his arse off. He's a bit of a Johnny Travolta party animal, Paul is, and that's the reason I hosted it by myself. But I knew he was partying, so I was happy for it. And so we'll be back. We will be back. Don't worry, people. Luke School of Science got a lot of stuff on his channel, School of Science. Make sure you do look it up. You know him, he comes on regularly, to be fair. We all love him. Thanks for coming on, Luke. We are coming to an end now, people. We could rant all night. We really could. And we've stayed on because there was a lot of comments coming in. And we know you need to get that off your chest. And we've tried to chuck as many as we can.
Yeah.
On the screen.
Blue therapy.
Yeah, well, I don't think we've been therapy. I think we've been angry ourselves.
We've re-aggravated it.
Yeah, I don't think we've even put a positive. So I'm going to do last words, because I always like last words. I like my quotes. well, this is where we could have done with Radiant, because he's got some poetic words, I tell you. But I did send Radiant the link. Before we end it, though, Paul, can you? I don't know. You might not be able to. Can you get the Radiant thing on of him doing
his picture?
Yeah, his video. He did a video, didn't he? Of him actually doing the challenge. Did you see it? The video.
Give me a moment. I'll see what I can do.
So basically, we'll end it, and we'll end it on this because this is a good way to end the show. And then we'll say our magic quotes. But if Paul can get the video, Radiant set himself 5 or 6 games for Broja to score. And last game, not this game, was the game that Broja had to score by. And for those that are not on X, you probably haven't seen that Radiant said he would jump in the freezing cold water if Broja didn't score. And his last game, he didn't. So Broja did. The Broja fan, Radiant, did do the challenge. If we can, we'll chuck it on the screen and we'll give you those poetic last words. But I'm impressed with how hardcore he did this. I am really impressed. Because I didn't think it was going to be this much of a hardcore challenge.
I've not seen. I can't find his video, but I have got the picture.
The video's on his timeline. It's on his timeline with the actual thing as a video. Yeah.
Yeah. On his timeline, I can see the photo, but I can't see. I can see the photo, but I can't see the video. So I'll just show you that at the moment. Yeah. So he took a dive. So he was in there, and almost the best bit, and you can tell when people respect it is someone did that.
I just tagged you in it now, Paul. The video it might come up now. I just tagged you in. I don't know if it'll come up on your X now. I have just tagged you in to see if we could get a video. If we can't, we'll hit those last words. 928 have been on, so if you can hit that like and subscribe and get behind us, we'll need to stick together this season. We really will. It is going to be a relegation battle, I think. Again, I've been saying everyone that said this season you're going to be in one. I've been denying it because I thought we're going to be better this season because we've got Njai.
Oh, here you go.
Here we go. So this is Radiant, who comes on the channel, the Albanian, doing the challenge because Broja did not score.
So here we are. Armando Broja failed to score in the whole month of December. He had 6 games. 2 of them got cancelled. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. But excuses here. As you can see, it's really cold out here. We got snow. We got ice. We got the ice man. -7 degrees here in Denmark. But as I said, it's the ice cold water and it's the 5-meter head dive. It's time to get in the water.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely crazy. So he did it, people. He did it. Right. So last words then. What have we got for the show?
Surely there must be a light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. All I'm hoping is that light at the back of Sean Dyche's head as he leaves Finch Farm.
Paul, what you got?
This year is a year of transition. Not only sort of where we're going to live and things like that, but also how we're going to play and who's going to be playing for us and leading things. And I think it needs to start very soon. Otherwise, we could be in very, very big trouble. Very big trouble.
Yeah, I do believe that something's got to be done. Something has to be done. The freaking group, I'm really hoping that the alarm bells have come on this game. They need to look at the stats. And they are normally proactive on getting rid of managers. I don't want them to keep getting rid of managers, by the way. But I'd like to think if they have come in and they're ready, they've had time to think about what they're going to do before they come in. I hope they. I hope so. I don't know. Just give us a good game. Give us a couple of wins. Shite at the minute, ain't they? Emma then goes on to say, "Love Radiant. Let's set down a forfeit." What have I done? What have I done other than watch this crap? I ain't done nothing.
That's your forfeit. You've got to watch the rest of Everton's season.
Yeah.
Forfeit is watch Everton in this cup game. Bloody hell. Now, we will do loads of forfeits on the channel. We'll keep it for Radiant Smash it there before. That's a hard one. I don't think even I would have dared to have jumped into that water surrounded by snow. I'm pretty hardcore. I was telling because the Bournemouth fan, after we finished from going live, that's in the comments, he said about they had to do a challenge. And I said, when I first was on X and I was first joined and I was trying to get 100 followers, I was like, if I get 100 followers, I'll head 20 eggs. Header 20 eggs. I don't know whether any of you could remember, but I went and headed 20 eggs, and I didn't think if you headed 20 eggs that you'd end up with a big cut across your forehead. So I headed 20 eggs, and when I was on about the 6, I could feel a cut on my head, but I had to head all 20. Eggs cut your head, by the way. And I headed all 20 eggs. And then when I got back, I said to my partner, eggs in cuts, is that infection? Can it infect your cuts or something like that? And she was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. So after that, I will calm down on the challenges because I realised headering 20 eggs sounded like a good challenge, but when I had a massive cut along my forehead, won't recommend it for anyone.
What a waste of a good omelette. What a waste of a good omelette.
Yeah, I know. But we all love a good challenge, to be fair. We all do love a good challenge. Right, I'm going to drop it now. An hour and 17. We've gone way over, but it's been needed.
Needed it.
It's been needed. And you've had Luke's words, Paul's words, my words, and we still don't know what to do. Go and order yourself a Chinese or a chippy, fish and chips, or an Indian, or just do anything that makes you happy and takes your mind off that shit that we've just watched. Get it out your head.
Yeah, happy half hour on Tuesday. Come and join us.
Even happy half hour, I don't think we'll sort you out after that game, Paul. Bloody hell. We'll try our best, though, of course we will. Right, everyone. Up the top is, like I said, that football team does not represent our fan base, and our fan base is incredible. And if these players don't step up very soon, you'll see our fan base again step forward. But they should be able to do it without us. We're always there singing, but we're going to have to take over soon. I'm telling you. Have a boss one, everyone. See you later. Up the top. Thanks for tuning in.